think we're trying to embrace the technology that Netflix has to offer. I mean, I would say, first of all, there were a couple of places that were in play to take this show. Our very good friend David Nevins, who we personally are so close to, was at Showtime. Well, they're not going to clap for David. We wouldn't appreciate it. He's changed. It wasn't, it's 20th Century Fox is producing and trying to figure out where the best fit was. But I can say from our perspective, there was something very exciting about trying to break the form again. We were very fortunate to even get on the air with a show that I think was very different at its time. And there's just something very exciting about doing that again in this new format. Specifically, dropping all these episodes at the same time. Dropping, is that the right phrase? That's what the kids are saying? Yeah. And did you tell the story about what Stephen Van Zandt said to you when he found out that Lilyhammers were all going to be at the same time? You want to tell him?
Sure, go again.
Well, apparently Stevie Van Zandt was very upset, like, wow, we worked so hard on these shows, and you're going to put them all on the air at the exact same time or on the web, and it just doesn't seem fair. And Ted said, well, isn't that how you do an album? And Stevie said, okay, I'm on board. And I think we feel that way too. It's suddenly this new challenge of how do you, that's where the audience is. And I think one of the reasons we were so excited about coming to Netflix is, that's certainly where this show has grown. That's where our fans are. And I think maybe you guys can speak to this a little bit too, but the show has kind of grown so much because of Netflix, and initially because of the DVDs. But from our perspective, we made these jokes 6 years ago, and it's kind of like putting a joke in a bottle and having it come back 6 years later and saying, ha ha ha. Very fun. And it's so gratifying. I mean, you guys want to get closer to the mics, first of all? And, yeah. Woo! Mics. Yeah.
Sure. Is this close enough?
That's very nice. I wouldn't get so close to the audience. Just close to the mic. I think we all had this common experience of...
Let's help Mitch out.
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah.
I'm as surprised as anybody that we're going to get the Running Wild cast and crew together.
It was a side deal.
And to do a claymation version seems... I know it's cutting corners.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds really interesting.
Well, every episode's going to come with a Running Wild short. No, what we're actually finding as we're breaking these stories and we're going through all this is that we're embracing the fact that these episodes are being aired, so to speak, at the same time, and it's changing our storytelling. There was an interesting thing. The first year of the show, we had a lot of secrets that we were planting in the storytelling, and the audience didn't know it. So if we had a blind character, it was a bit of a surprise that the character turned out not to be blind. The second season of the show, anybody who had any disability, everyone just assumed they were faking it. So we had a pregnant character who turned out not to be pregnant, but she actually was pregnant, but she wasn't pregnant. But then at the end, she got pregnant. The third season, we got even more complex because then we were starting to tell a story of somebody that Jason Bateman was dating, and then that person turned out to be a spy. But then you realized all these episodes have been about him dating somebody who's developmentally disabled. You just couldn't tell because of the British accent. She seems so smart. And likewise, there is a challenge implicit in Netflix that is we're finding that our storytelling, hopefully at the end of the episode, you're going to want to go right back and watch the start and view it through new eyes. So it's just a great challenge.
I'd just like to say that this is the best costume I have ever had. It's a one-zip, and it's roomy, and I just want to thank you so much.
We didn't find it again. It's nice. We got it.
Well, it's cheap. And, I will say the thing about Jeffrey is that it was like a master acting class because we took this incredibly... What if there's a better place for a conference room? I'm just thinking out loud. Are we on the tarmac?
We're near the tarmac.
We're close. It just makes it easier to get out of here, I guess. But Jeffrey, this consummate actor, we put him in a set where even the table was bolted down. No props, no wardrobe, other than this. And you just went to town.
And you gave me 2 characters.
We gave you 2 characters, that's right. That's right. But you...
One self.
Yeah, Jessica, do people, will you find that, did you ever think this would happen? Did you ever think we would get back together?
You know, this show meant so much to me, and I know it meant so much to the other people, the cast. You know, they always make fun of me because I keep my purse with me at all times. On the set, I used to drive people crazy.
Queen Elizabeth does too.
Matter of fact, Mitch asked me on the plane, he said, do you still have that sports sack purse with the flowers on it?
Yeah.
No, that was like 9 years ago. But anyway, what was the question?
I think the question was basically, can you fill some time? Allie?
No, I just want to say, it's a blessing from God that we're getting back together because we had such a wonderful time, and the writing of this show and the conception
Talk
of
more
it.
about that. Talk more about the writing.
Well, you know, if it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage.
Well, it was on the stage, actually. A lot of it was on the stage.
It's a collaboration.
And when little Allie
I am thrilled to be back.
When little Allie Shawkat started, you were how old? 13? 14. And do you remember what you said when I asked you if kissing Michael Cera was your first stage kiss?
I think it was something like yes.
It was my first kiss.
Yes.
I know.
I've kissed a lot of people since then.
And now she's the first I've heard this. I know that she plays a lot of prostitutes and things now, which doesn't make me happy.
Just once.
Just once.
And her birthday's tomorrow.
Oh, nice. But anyway, I will say
Birthday that we can't afford to clear.
no, we don't have the clearance. I will say that
Oh yes, you can fill it in. You can always.
I will say, just to get us off stage and let you get back to wrapping up,
You're good. Go ahead.
right? And then we have to break this down.
You know, by the way, we have the Running Wild connection on Netflix too, which is that in Canada, Netflix was the premier network for Running Wild. Did you know that?
Well, yes.
Yeah, of course you did.
Yeah, because
Someone told you.
that passes for entertainment in Canada. I mean, that's such a, that was luck. We had
You've insulted me on so many levels.
well, no, it's on my show too. They know I'm mocking myself.
Yeah, you're responsible.
But we kid Canada.
Yeah. Half.
So anyway, thank you, Ted.
No, we're actually really proud of that show. I have to say that.
That is a funny show.
Yeah, and what's interesting about Netflix is it gives an opportunity for a lot of those things to live on, and for, I don't think we really could have brought Arrested Development back. Certainly not with the limited cast we have right now, not everyone being available on the same day. Hopefully we'll be able to continue to make them with you and get people more together at the same time. That's our goal. But it really, I think it's going to create a lot of, it feels like the broadcast model makes a lot of people a lot of money, but there's a lot more to be exploited there, a lot of great material that has nowhere to go. And I think Netflix is providing it, so hopefully it'll benefit everybody.
Thank you. Yeah. Jeffrey Tambor told me a story before he came out, and if you don't mind, we can maybe close offering the advice. He spoke at a commencement address for his alma mater, and close with a very wonderful piece of advice. Maybe you could share with
I
us.
actually ran that. Well, first of all, it was for my alma mater, San Francisco State. And, oh, great. And I kind of ran out of things to say to the graduates, so I ended up with, and remember, there's always money in the banana stand. Are you guys from SF State? That's exactly what they did. And so I thought that was a very, very good...
Well, and up until now, no one's been able to wring any out of it except for Ted Sarando, so we're very grateful to pull some money out of
Thank
there.
you again. Thank you
thanks,
to
man.
Mitch Horowitz, Will Arnett, David Frost, Jeffrey Tambor, Jessica Walker. Thank you so much. One more time, would you join me in thanking the creators and stars of Lilyhammer, House of Cards, Hemlock Grove, Orange is the New Black, and Arrested Development.